Hello, 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 all these lovely ladies. Hi, welcome to Thrive Thursday. I'm super excited today. Been excited for like the past 30 days. I don't know. Everybody, please unmute and just say, hey girls. Give me a big old hey, ladies.
Hey,
Crystal.
hey, girl.
Hey,
Girl.
Hey,
Hey,
ladies. Hey, girl.
I'm so happy to see all these beautiful ladies on the screen today. As you know, this is Thrive Thursdays. I am your host, Crystal Clark. I am here from Virginia Beach, Virginia, where the weather, I think, has finally stabilized. I don't know. The verdict is still a little bit on, this verdict's still out on that. But nonetheless, I am super excited for tonight's call. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for showing up, coming out every month. This call takes place, as you know, the first Thursday of the month. And it's just my vision, my goal, my dream, my desire to empower ladies. I have always had this in my heart and in my spirit from when I was a youth group leader. I don't know, to raising my daughter and all my girl cousins and just, I don't know, everything. So I thank you all for being a part of my vision. But, I want to really focus this towards us as business owners, as entrepreneurs, but most importantly, as mothers, as wives, as daughters, as sisters, as aunties. We do a lot, right? We wear a lot of hats. We're doctors, counselors, psychologists, nurses, practitioners, cooks, we're everything. And so what a forum for us to have to come and empower one another, but also share our woes, right? And share our successes as well. So tonight is going to be phenomenal, y'all. I have the pleasure of having this phenomenal woman on the call tonight. She is the very first female integrity partner with Family First Life. She is a mover and a shaker, a way maker. And not only that, she's cute and she's so sweet and so nice. I was talking to her earlier and I said, you know what? I met you 2 years ago and I know you don't remember me at all because I know she meets thousands of people. But I will say this. When I met her, she was getting out the elevator. It was a very quick interaction. And I said, hey, you're Nina. I just saw you on stage. I'm super excited to meet you. Can I please get a picture? And she said, she hugged me. She was so sweet and so nice. And honestly, that has lasted me for like 2 years until now that I'm getting a chance to talk to her. So I say all that to say, you just never know who you're going to run into. Treat everybody with respect. I'm a millionaire in the making. And, I'm so happy that she treated me with respect. And it was just so nice. She was just so friendly. But, I don't want to get all into all of that. I just want to jump right in with her. So, Nina, I see you up here. Hey, lady, how are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me on. Can everyone do me a favor and drop a C in the comments, because Crystal's energy is just like unlike anything. And honestly, it's an honor to be on here. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking time
Look at all
out
those
of your...
C's popping up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Woo. I'm a coach girl too. So I love my little C's, I wear C's all the time. But anyway. So tonight's theme, Nina, is, no more fear. We have to push to win. And you're a winner. I know you have pushed, but I know you had some scary moments. I know there were times where, I don't know, maybe you want to pull your hair out, but let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. This is a very, I'm the type of person I like to kind of lay back and lay it all on the line. So let me ask you the first question. Being an integrity partner and a very young lady at that, a young, phenomenal woman at that, talk to me a little bit about, sacrifices, because we know that when we're trying to get past our fear, we're making some sacrifices along the way. But tell us a little bit, well, before we do that, tell us a little bit about your journey, about you, where you're from, how you got involved. I mean, just give us all of that.
Yeah, I would love to. So I'm going to go way, way back. So I'm originally born and raised in Serbia. Well, not raised. I actually moved to the US when I was 3, straight to Arizona. We moved here because my dad was in the Yugoslavian war at the time. So like literally, I always tell people this story because it's like my motivation has always been like my family, my parents, seeing what they went through really, really motivated me to get to work because like lazy people freak me out, and like seeing what they did from when they moved myself and my brother out here in 1998 was just like the craziest, most inspirational thing ever. So 98, we moved to Arizona. My parents didn't speak a lick of English. My brother knew like, hi, how are you? I was 3 years old, so I don't even know at what point kids start talking, but I don't know if I was talking yet. I definitely didn't know the English language. So like coming here, we literally had nothing, zero. Like I remember this so vividly, but we lived in this small 1-bedroom apartment. It was not in the best area. My mom was working day shift. My dad was working night shift because they couldn't afford a nanny. So they had to kind of flip-flop back and forth with their work schedules to be able to take care of both myself and my brother. And I remember like shopping for groceries at, the dollar store. And I remember like we didn't have a coffee table or a living room table. We would like eat dinner on the floor. Like it was the craziest thing, but those memories are just so important to me. And I feel like they've really just like shaped me into who I am today. But I saw the work that my parents put in to give us everything that they possibly could. So like I always had in the back of my head, like I'm going to do something to, pay them back for all that they did for us, for bringing us to America, for giving us literally endless opportunities. So basically growing up, I felt like I always kind of thought different. Like my parents were very strict on like, okay, hey, you're going to go to school, you're going to get this education. And in my mind, I was always like, I had that mindset of an entrepreneur. Like I knew I could do like big things. I don't know. It was just like something in me, but I just obviously didn't know the avenue to do so. So I actually I did go to college. I graduated from Arizona State University. I got my degree in dietetics and nutrition. And after college, I was like, okay, what's the move for me? What's the next move? My parents are like, go get your master's degree. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. So I actually started a personal training business. And honestly, it did okay. Like I had loyal clients, great clients, but I felt like I was kind of like at my limit of like what I could do and what I could make. And like in the fitness industry, I feel like people just want the next best thing. So I'm like in my head, I'm like, okay, yeah, right now I'm 19, 20 years old. Like people like training with me, but what's going to happen when I'm 30, 40, 50? Like I really need to start thinking about the future. And I saw a bunch of people posting about the life insurance industry on social media. So that's like key right there, you guys. Like most of our team and like pretty much everyone is in this industry because of a social media post somewhere, right? So saw this post and I'm like, okay, like these people look like they're killing it in life insurance. Like, why don't I give this a shot? So 2000, I believe it was 2016, I got my insurance license and I started with a captive company. So started with another company. It didn't really go as planned. I kind of like doubted myself there for a little bit. I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. Found FFL, and I mean, now here we are. It's definitely been quite the journey, that's for sure. And it's been a lot of ups and downs and peaks and valleys and great days, very emotional days. I know we're going to hit on that a little bit later, but I mean, now we're here and I'm just pumped. So
I'm listening to your story and, Serbia, because, of course, you're always trying to figure out with your last name, and I'm not even going to dare to pronounce it. But I was like, she from somewhere. She not from the United States. So glad you said that. But I relate to that so well. My sister-in-law is from Belarus, which is, province of Russia. And, she did this on her own. She broke free, left university, came to the United States, and I don't know. It cracks me up because I know people that don't even want to walk across the street by themselves. And she,
Yeah.
leaving your whole country. So your life really started off with sacrifice, right? From the backs of your parents. And
One.
then just for you, what do you feel like you had a drive at such a young age? And I think many of us have that drive, but you know what happens, Nina? Sometimes we lose it, right? Or we get caught up
Yeah.
in somebody else's dreams. Like, what helped you to really stay focused? Because as a woman, there are certain cliches or certain industries that we're told that we should be in, we shouldn't be in. This is what we should be doing. You're supposed, like you said, your parents wanted you to go and get
Yeah.
even a higher level of education. And you said, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Be an entrepreneur. What kept you focused? Like, that's a lot. What kept you focused?
Yeah, I feel like you definitely have to have a belief level in yourself first and foremost. And I know like that can go so up and down based on like what you're doing, what industry you're in, who you're, that's like the biggest thing is going to be who you're surrounded by. Because like if you're constantly hanging around people, whether it's even family, like I'm sure everyone on here can relate, but like to be honest with you guys, when I started selling insurance or when I got my insurance license, my parents who really wanted me to go to college and do all these things, they were like, what are you doing? That job's a joke. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to do this. It might teach you a lesson, but you're like, this isn't your future. Like you need to go get your master's. It was just, constant just negativity. And I always thought like, it's funny now because like, obviously like I take care of them and I buy them things and now they're like, oh, we love this, we love insurance. It's like you guys weren't saying, you guys were not saying that 8 years ago. So I think the biggest thing is like first and foremost you have to find that belief within yourself. And then two, I think it's also finding something that you're really passionate about too. And like my passion always lied in like helping people, and I know that like everyone says that, right? But truly like you have to find something that fulfills you. And like that for me was the insurance industry. Being able to help families, being able to bring people on board and, help the newest agent make their first sale. Like I was in the office with an agent today who's a server and she made her first like 2 sales today. And she's like jumping up and down, like, is this real? She's like, I love it here. Like, what the heck? Why didn't I know about this before? Like, that's so fulfilling. And that truly is honestly what keeps me going in this. So
Man, I tell you, it's nothing like, seeing other people win and knowing that you had a piece of that. And on this platform, that's one of the goals that I have is that I want to be able to like package this every month and we take it back and we just spread it out for 30 days, all these nuggets because we need that refreshing, we need that refreshment every single month, right? And because we go through so much. But let me ask you this, Nina, because I'm just curious. You're a female, I'm a female. We're all ladies on this call, right? And we all know all the stuff that we go through from just trying to get up in the morning and get our face right to even preparing for our day and our families. I know you're newly married. Congratulations. Has it been a year yet?
almost a year.
Almost a year. Okay. I knew it was like close. I'd be stalking you on IG, but we're not going to talk about that. So
I love
but as a female leader, like what were some of the other or who were some of the other female leaders that really inspired you? Who did you look to get your strength from? Because your mom was kind of like, yeah, on the edge.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and that could be an inspiration in itself, true, because it pushes you to prove them wrong. But who are some of the leaders or females in your life that are leaders that inspired you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question. And like, I think there's honestly so many like motivational speakers and people on social media that you can follow. I'm big on like whatever I can relate to in that moment. So like, if I'm trying to learn more about real estate, let's just say, I'm going to go follow Tracy Tudor, she's on the show $1 Million Listing. I love all her content. She's amazing, super motivational, just like a person that I like to follow, right? Same thing on like, it just really depends on kind of what you're looking for in that moment. So like when I came to FFL, I was like, you know what, like I'm in insurance. Let me seek out those that are doing well in insurance. So like someone that inspired me from day one was Alondra, who a lot of you guys may know if you've been here for a while. She was absolutely killing it at FFL. She still is. One of the top producing female agents. So like I really like looked up and reached out to her, to be honest with you. So it just really depends on like what I'm kind of going through at that time to really like seek out that specific help, or who I look for as a leader. Brittany Smart too. Like there's so many women in this business that I consistently reach out to on a daily basis. Like Vivian, for example, if I'm like, and guys, let me be real, I still get in my head like all the time. Who do I call? I know a strong boss leader is Vivian. Like she kills it. She's always super positive. And that's another thing. It's like, you have to step away from the negativity in your life, no matter how hard it is. I don't care if it's your parents. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's your kids. I don't care if it's your best friend. Like those people need to be cut off from your life. Like I can't tell you guys how many friendship breakups I've had, how many, you know, just endings of friendships that I've had just because like people were just so negative and I was feeding into their negativity too. Like whatever you're consuming on a daily basis is what your day's going to be. So like if you're constantly being told, oh, you're not going to make it in this, or must be nice. Like, you know, when people say, oh, must be nice, like that's like my favorite thing that people say, like, you need to get rid of those people and surround yourself with people that are where you want to be. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like I see Cass on here. Cass and I talk on social media all the time. When she's going through it, she asks a question. She reaches out on social media. I've seen her reach out to other people when she's in a time of need. That's when it's really important. And another thing is like in this business specifically, it's like everyone on here probably wants to be a 30, 40, 50, 60 plus K month producer, right? Probably.
Absolutely.
So when you go and you're looking for advice on something, don't ask the people that are writing 10K a month. Don't ask the people that are writing 15K a month, because what's going to happen? You're going to get on the phone with them. They're going to say, oh, the leads suck. This week was really bad. The phones are slow. No one's answering. It's 14 days before Easter. That's why no one's answering the phone. It's like, what? But if you were to call someone that like Steve G, for example, or someone that writes or sells at a high level, what are they going to say? It's the day before Easter. It's Easter. They're like, hey, yeah, I just made a couple sales. Hey, yeah, I'm in the field right now. Hey, yeah, I'm dialing the phones right now. Like that's the type of positivity that you need to surround yourself with and seek that and nothing but that. Because if you constantly call the complainers, the people who literally aren't where you want to be, like you're going to be in that same position. So that's huge.
That is so huge. Like, you know, there's this old saying that, you know, some people walk in the room and you're happy to see them, you know, come in, and then there are other people you're happy to see them leave.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that, you know, I started off in corporate America, and corporate America was a whole, you know, thing. But when I started working for the government, honey, now that is something. And there were many times in the room, I think that's where I learned to be so energetic, because, you know, politicians can be boring. So, you know, you want to bring that energy and that life, but you definitely don't want to be around the negative Nancy's, right? And so with that, I know that you said a lot of females, a lot of women that are winning just overall. But how do you feel about like taking that energy and then translating it or actually cascading it down to your team? How are you able to do that? And you know what? Hold on. Let me go back. You do this like in telesales. You are the queen of the telesales. Like, how in the world? Because I know it's like sometimes face to face is a little difficult, right? You have to make sure they're checking you out, they're checking out your posture. And let's just be real, ladies. How many of us, you know, either you can show a hand or drop a nugget in the chat. How many of us have encountered situations where we have talked to our male counterparts and they're not looking at our face? They're looking at other parts of our bodies, right? And oh God, yeah. Oh, I know I'm gonna see a whole lot of, and we go through this all the time. And it's it's degrading, but it makes us very self-conscious. And so now we're in the world of telesales where, sometimes we may be on Zoom, sometimes we may not, but either way, how do you really penetrate those walls? Because although it may not be air quote face to face, in some ways it still is, but breaking through that barrier, that technology barrier, how in the world were you able to master that? Because I don't know, I'm kind of like that mixed generation baby where I remember the house phones, but I remember when we got a cell phone, and it's like I'm in that like transition kind of age. So I remember that old, but I call y'all the newbies. These newbies, y'all are born with the cell phone in your hand. You don't know it any other way. So is it easy? Is it hard? Like, how do you really do that? And then turn around in business. It's not just a girlfriend call. This is a business call. I need to know, honey. I have my pen and paper right here. I need to know how you mastered that.
I love that. Well, I think like energy doesn't lie. That's a fact. And like, I'll kind of like touch base on like recruiting through telesales, like recruiting someone over Zoom in another state. And then I'll touch base on like clients with telesales. But I'll tell you what, like Crystal, for me, telesales was a huge transition because I did face-to-face. I hit Hall of Fame face-to-face. I was a face-to-face girl because I'm like, okay, if I'm in their house, like I'm going to sell them. If I'm sitting with someone face to face, they're going to like me. So I kind of had to like almost, it was hard. Let me just tell you that, like that transition to talking to clients over the phone. Like I couldn't build that relationship like I did before. But one thing I always got told is like, whether it's dialing the phones, whether it's, talking to a brand new agent over the phone, whatever. Posture is huge. Like people can tell on the phone if you're slouching, if you're not slouching. Also smiling. Like I know it sounds like the weirdest thing ever, but like if you're just like sitting there being a grump all day, like clients can feel that energy over the phone. Like they definitely can. So I don't know who said this early on. I think it was Jack Yu, in our business specifically, but he said that like he was just so awkward on the phones to begin with. So what he would do is he would stand in front of a mirror and literally smile and dial. And he's like, dude, I booked more appointments and I talked to more people than ever. And people actually stayed on the phone because they felt that energy through the phone. So I think that's huge. So that's like on the selling side. As far as the building side, like for me, I like to get on the phone. I get on Zoom with every single person I talk to. Every single person that I recruit. I don't like, if I'm recruiting someone, it's never just a quick phone call. It's always on Zoom. Like I want to get to know them. I want to feel their energy. I want them to feel my energy. I want them to see what I look like. I want to see if they're smiling. I want to see if they're happy people. And one thing about me is now I'm so selective with who I hire and bring on, because I don't want to hire people that are negative Nancy's or that are going to affect like my day to day, right? With their negative energy. Like I do not do that. I used to hire anyone and everyone that literally could pass their insurance exam. No more. And I suggest you guys do the same, because there's people that will literally suck the energy out of you and you don't want that in your business. So I love to just feel energy. And I think that's a huge thing, especially in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm highly energetic. So yeah, energy is definitely
Yes.
everything for me. Like what else gives you energy? I mean, I know you work out. I know that's your previous career, and I'm sure you still do work out because you look great. But what other things give you energy? I know people do, but what other things in your life are you able to pull your energy from? Because we are in the death business, right? So what else gives you that good energy? Yeah, that you need.
Yeah. I love that you asked that, because like, I mean, right, show of hands, who gets really emotional in this business? Like, raise your hand. Like me, 1,000 times. Like I remember, I love it. Everyone's putting their hands up. But I remember like coming in and starting, and mind you, when I started FFL, I was like 24 years old. So I'm turning 29 soon, which is crazy. I'm like, holy crap, I'm almost 30. This is awesome.
Wow.
But I remember starting out and being just so emotional all the time. Like I did not have it together. Like no joke. Like if I had a bad day in the field, I was crying my eyes out. The next day was bad. I was crying my eyes out even more. The third day I had a good day. I was like on a high, like cloud 9. The next day was a bad day. So I wanted to quit and throw it all in the towel. Like literally every emotion ever. And it took me a while to get to the point of like maturing and keeping myself busy enough to not care about like the bad days and the good days and the great days, right? Like it took me a while to kind of find that like level with myself of like, I'm not going to let the emotions get to my head. And I've really found that being consistent is what saved me. So I was always like when I started out, and there's probably people on here where, you know, maybe last week you wrote 4K or 5K or 6K or 10K, and this week you wrote nothing. And next week you're not going to write anything. And the next week you're not going to write anything. Like I was like so inconsistent. Sometimes I would buy leads, sometimes I wouldn't buy leads. And that's why I was always on this roller coaster of like, okay, this week I did well, next week I didn't. So I really like had to have a hard conversation with myself. I was like, okay, what am I doing here? Like I clearly have no respect for myself because I keep saying I'm going to buy leads this week. I keep saying I'm going to dial the phones this week. I keep telling Grady, my upline, that I'm going to write 10K this week. Like, but why am I not doing it? It's because I don't have respect for myself and I'm not showing up for myself. Someone said this to me once and it's like always stuck with me. If you're on your way to the gym, let's just say it's 5 a.m., you and your friend are doing a workout class. You say that you're going to be at the workout class at 6 a.m. Alarm goes off at 5, you get ready because your friend's going, you're going. You're like, oh, I don't want to disappoint my friend. Like, I'm going to be at the gym by 6 a.m. I'm going to be at this workout class by 6 a.m. Next day rolls around, your friend doesn't feel like going. It's time for you to go by yourself. Are you as excited, or are you going to snooze that alarm clock when it goes off at 5 to be there at 6? You're way more like, the chances are you're probably not going to show up to that class. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, so you're going to show up for someone else, but you're not going to show up for yourself. So like, that's the first thing. I had to have like that intentional conversation of like, shoot, like I'm always in this consistent cycle of like, just being so up and down. Like I need to do something about it. So that's when I really like was like, okay, the only thing that's going to get me out of this emotional roller coaster is consistency. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give myself 60, 90, 30, 60, 90 days to do this. Like, this is my schedule that I'm going to follow. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. I'm going to do my workout at 6 a.m. I'm going to get ready and be on the phones dialing by 8 a.m. I'm not getting out of my chair, obviously for lunch break, whatever you got to do. I'm not getting out of my chair until I make at least a sale or book a bunch of appointments. Like that was it. And what happened is I repeated those same things every single day for 30, 60, 90 days. And then it just became a habit. It was my life, because what I realized was when I was doing those things, I was so busy that I didn't have time to think about, oh my God, today I didn't make a sale, or that person just told me to F off over the phone. No, I'm already dialing my next lead. Like I don't have time to think about that. You know what I mean? So I just became so busy with being consistent that it really just like took the emotion. It took the emotion away. And not saying like avoid your emotions. Like you should face whatever you're going through without a doubt. But the only time we're really in our heads is when we're just not busy enough. And that's a fact. So like for me, you know, back to kind of your question, like I have a routine that I stick to every single day. Otherwise I go absolutely crazy. And I find myself like starting to think about things way too much. So again, every day I'm up at 5 a.m. Same thing over the last 4 years since I've been with FFL. 5 a.m. wake up, 6 a.m. workout, 8 a.m. on the phones or helping agents now at this point. Training, recruiting, literally the same thing every single day. And I feel like the boring things work. Like just being honest, like at the end of the day, doing the same thing over and over and over again are going to get you to the level that you want to be at. But I always challenge everyone, like do something, commit to something and show up for yourself for at least 30 days and watch your life change. The
Yeah.
same thing like with recruiting in this business, like people will say like, oh, recruiting isn't really going well for me. They say I'm sending messages on LinkedIn every day. I'm calling these people every day. I'm like, hey, pull up your LinkedIn. They haven't sent a message since 4 days ago. And it's like, you're not really recruiting because you're not really committed to it. It's like, you have to do these things every single day to see growth. If you want to sell 30 grand a month, it's very simple. You have to dial the phones every single day, because even if you're not the best salesperson, like I'm not the best salesperson. Sometimes my husband will listen to me on the phone. Like when I'm selling people, he's like, dude, why did you even say that to them? Like, you're terrible. And I'm like, well, whatever. I talk to enough people, like I'm going to make some sales. Right. And I do, because that's just the way it works. So,
Yeah.
activity is just going to help solve all emotions. So.
And, we are emotional beings. And, that's one of the things that I always love to unpack on Thrive Thursdays, because, that's the one thing we definitely have in common. We're just a big old ball of emotions, right? And, it's nothing to get on the phone with the client or have a previous call with the client and it kind of spills over into the next client that can be very emotional because of a situation or something that happens. But I just love the fact that you just really hit it on the head when you talked about being consistent. Our team right now, we're doing a second round of the 75 hard challenge, right? And one of the things that I have, yeah, let's go, man. I'm telling you, it's hard, right? But it's
Life changing.
It is. It's called the hard challenge for a reason. But the biggest element is the consistency. And I'm amazed at how we fall off so easy, but it's so hard to get back up. And so, I love your routine. My schedule is very similar. So that lets me know I am on the right track. It's hard to get out the bed sometimes. Go ahead. What you going to say?
I was gonna say that was like first off, Hayden and I did 75 hard 2 years ago, and we were talking about this the other day. Our life since doing 75 hard has been 75 hard, because we built, like in those 75 days, we built such good habits. Like we go on an outdoor workout or a 45-minute walk every single day. Like it just happens. We eat clean. It's absolutely insane. And like, guys, like I literally, if you guys look at pictures of me from like 2-3 years ago, I'm down like 40 pounds, and 75 hard was a huge help. So like, not only does it help you in like the physical aspect, but it definitely helps you like mentally change your life. But to add to the routine thing, like waking up at 5 a.m. is not easy. And I remember like when I first started FFL, I was probably waking up at like 9 or 10. I was going to the gym at 11, 12, and then I was getting on the phones at like 3 or 4, which is a joke. Like that's crazy. And it's like you wasted your whole day. And I remember Sean Mike saying like, he asked someone what time they wake up, and they said 7 a.m. He said, dude, I'm already having dinner by that time. Like, what are you doing? And you just like, by waking up early, and I know it's uncomfortable and I know it's annoying when your alarm goes off, but like by waking up early, you're already gaining so much time where you can put in work, like based on the rest of the world. Like 99% of the world is not waking up at 5 a.m. They're not working out. They're not doing the things that they should be doing. But make yourself different. Be like that 1%. So I love that you do that as.
Now I'm going to pick on you. I'm going to pick on you because you're not 30. Okay. So I can tell you for a fact, your generation is a trip. Okay. They like to sleep. Okay. They love to sleep. But you know what? It's mine. Every generation just loves to sleep in. And I have to ask this question because you're here. Why not? How in the world are you able to get people to move? Like, how are you able to get them to go? Because we're talking about having no fear, and it can be really scary, right? You sometimes, and ladies, you can raise your hand. Sometimes you feel defeated already when you just get up in the morning, like, because your brain is racing, you're thinking about your day, you're thinking about what you have to do. If you're married, of course, you're thinking about your spouse and what's on their agenda becomes your agenda. If you're a parent, you can just forget it. Like all bets are off. The kids rule, right? but it's difficult. So like how I just have to know, pushing through the fear. How did you
Yep.
push through the fear, the being scared, the oh my goodness, is this going to work? What if my parents were right? What if this doesn't work? What if my man looks at me and says, girl, you ain't even, this ain't working
Yep.
out. Like, I thought you was a grinder. You're not grinding, you're perpetrating. Like, how how do you really push through that fear? Because girl, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I think what's really funny is that back to that 5 a.m. thing, which is actually so funny. I think it's, again, goes back to like surrounding yourself by like the right people. It was last Sunday, and Hayden, like, he doesn't even need an alarm clock. He's up at 5. Like, it's so annoying. And it was Sunday, and this man, I'm like, okay, Sunday, like, let me sleep till 6. Like, give me till 6. This man has the nerve to wake me up at 5. And he's like, get up. Like, you said that you were going to do this. You're going to do it, right? And that's the thing. It's like, one, surrounding yourself with people, but B, going back to the fact that you have to do what you say you're going to do. And if you commit to something in your head, if you say you want to do something, you cannot be scared to do it. And you have to be consistent enough and willing enough to actually follow through and respect yourself enough. Like, that's huge. I live by that. Like, if I say I'm gonna fold my laundry at this time, I'm folding my laundry at this time. If I say, like, respect yourself, that's first and foremost, just the biggest thing.
It's difficult, as ladies, us doing that because with media, with the internet, and with social media, oh my God, social media has just, I remember the first time I heard the word selfie. And I was like, how conceited is that? Like, a selfie? What the world? Again, now it's like, child, I get my hair done, selfie, my own self gratification. But what do you feel is the best advice that you have ever received?
I would say there's so many areas where I could like say, like, to this business specifically, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's what you consume and who you surround yourself with, and just knowing that literally you can do anything that you set your mind to. And another thing is this: I remember 4 years ago when I came into FFL and I had heard about the integrity opportunity. I remember sitting there thinking, oh, I'm never going to be able to get to this. I'm never going to be able to do this. I remember seeing like a chart of like the FFL compensation, and it was like 140 was the top comp at the time. I remember sitting there and saying, oh, I'm never going to get to that comp. Why am I even looking at this? And what you tell yourself is without a doubt 100% what's going to come out of it. It wasn't until I shifted my mindset to, I can't do this, I'm never going to be able to do this, to I'm going to do this, I can do this. If this person can do this, I can do this. Like, guys, like being 100% real, like whatever I did, you guys can do 1 million times faster, like 1 billion times faster. There's people that have come in and already done it. Like, it's absolutely insane. But you do have to believe in yourself enough. And I think I'm big on manifestation. I think manifestation works. I heard about the integrity deal. I remember when I came home, I was like questioning myself, like, can I do this? Can I not? But I wrote in big letters, literally on my mirror, I wrote, I am an integrity partner. And I firmly believe that you can speak things into existence. Obviously, you can't do it without the hard work though. But I looked at that mirror every single day. That's another thing, is like, write whatever your goal down is on a mirror, because you're looking in that mirror every single day. And by writing that and by putting in the work, like, literally anything is possible. So, I mean, I know that was like 14 tips in one, but
No, that's awesome. I think, and I'm glad you said that, because one of the next question that I had was about, being accountable. And it sounds to me that you've had a few accountability partners along the way. Unpack that for me. Like, talk to me about your accountability and partners and why that's so important. I know one of them is your husband. So, but in the beginning and even now, like, talk about that a little bit, because it just you danced all around it. So I said, well, let me just go ahead on and bring it on home. So
100%. I think like going back to what I said about like calling a laundra and reaching out to a laundra. Like I remember I was at the point early on in the business where I'm like, okay, like I'm writing like 5 to 10 grand a month. And I'm like, all these other people are doing 20, 30. I'm like, why can't I do that? It's because I was literally on the phone with people who were doing 5. Like that's the thing. It wasn't until I started talking to Alondra and then Clay Sweet, who was doing 60K a month at the time, that I started putting up big numbers. It's no secret, right? Same thing with like the gym. I have my little gym buddy that we work out together 2-3 times a week. And I'm like, okay, like we hold each other accountable to go to the gym. Never once has she canceled, never once have I canceled on our little gym dates, because I'm like, okay, we're accountability partners. We're going to hold each other accountable. So again, like reach out to those people, you guys. Like, and the beauty of FFL and the beauty of this business is everyone's willing to help out and give advice. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten super uncomfortable and messaged someone on Facebook that's killing it with FFL, or someone on Instagram that's killing it in the fitness industry, or you name it, like whatever you're looking to do. Like Hayden, he's super interested in investing into different things now. He reaches out to someone new on Instagram like every single day. And he's like, hey, I'm meeting up with this real estate guy next week. I hit him up on Instagram. Like that's so uncomfortable. Like I realize that, but it's the best way to learn and grow. Like the best way to get comfortable is to be uncomfortable, right? So it's like, challenge yourself to reach out to different people. Like I think oftentimes we're so comfortable in our little bubble of like people that we talk to all the time. So like maybe it's your little girl group that you hang out with. Maybe it's within FFL. Maybe you talk to the same people every single day. You guys are on Zoom together every single day. You guys are dialing together every single day. Get uncomfortable. Talk to someone, reach out to someone on the team like who's doing more than you and say, hey, what are some tips that you can give me for the week? I want to have a big week this week. Hey, do you mind if we hop on a call for 5 to 10 minutes? Like, again, that's the beauty of FFL is everyone helps everyone. So I think that's huge.
absolutely. It's, getting uncomfortable. I tell you,
Yep.
that's huge, huge. So you talked about your energy, you talked about your accountability, you gave us a glimpse of your life. All right. So, I know we're about to almost wrap it up, but I have to know what's next for Nina. What's next? You've hit integrity. Like, how do you feel hitting the pinnacle? What's next for you? We know there are no ceilings. So let's talk about it. What's next? What you got up your sleeve?
I love that question. You know, what's really funny is when we partnered with Integrity 2 years ago. It was in 2022. And I remember like all my friends, all my family, all the people that we work with called me and they said, hey, how did it feel like when that wire hit? And I'm like, I feel the same. Like I don't feel any different. Like I feel like I'm still doing the same. I think there's just levels to life, right? And like we're constantly looking for more. We're constantly chasing more. We're constantly doing, new things to challenge ourselves. So I think for me personally, I still think that we're like our agency, I feel like is way too small. Like I feel like there's so many lives to change. There's so many lives to impact. There's so much more growth to happen just within the agency, just within FFL. Like the coolest thing about FFL is like even Sean's vision. And like we're really good friends with Jamie and Frank. And like they actually stayed with us a couple weeks ago. And like there was like a fire lit under my ass after Frankie left because he was talking about all this annuity stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm slacking, right? So like, I think there's just so much more growth to come out of this business. And then of course I have personal goals as well. I would love to build a family. a big family at that. I would love to raise the babies, and I would love to, we're doing some fun real estate projects too. So there's like still so much work that needs to be done. And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just over the moon. I like this industry is so freaking life-changing. And again, like you guys, freaking, if I could do it, trust me, if I could do this, anyone can freaking do this, because truly, like, there's nothing special about myself. There's nothing special about Alondra, about Grady, about Andrew Taylor, like, besides the fact that we literally said, this is our goal. This is the steps that we need to take to reach that goal. And we're committing to ourselves and our families every single day. And I mean, to me, it's just so exciting to see, like, you guys, our agents on our team, like I said, like new agents making new sales, like, dude, there's like 4 videos of people on my team that launched this week, and they're all buying Lamborghinis and buying houses and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is exciting, right? It's a very exciting time to be in the life insurance industry. That's a fact.
Absolutely. I have to share this. I have to show this to you. I don't know if you remember, but I'm going to share with everyone. You just hit
Aww.
integrity. And like I said, just sharing the story, but that's you. I kept that picture. I was going back through and scrolling back through, and I said, you know what? I said, I know I met her. I know I have this picture. And I was so happy that I found it. So I had to show that to you. But you had just hit integrity that year when I met you. So of course, you were glowing, you were over the moon. It was my first conference. I was excited. I think that it's not by accident that we're talking today, and I'm just super excited to know you and call you my friend. And I got you on speed dial, so I'm so happy, so
I
excited.
love it. I love it. And honestly, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say parting words. Yeah, give us, take us on home. What else you got?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, the energy of you, and like you could just tell everyone on here, like Dina and TJ, like I just see that you could just feel the energy through the screen. Like they're so smiley and happy, and Veronica, like I'm just looking at all these people, like this team, this culture, this vibe is what this is all about. And like it starts with you, Crystal. Like if you didn't start this, like I'm just over the moon. Like this call is freaking legit. I freaking love, besides TJ obviously, but all the ladies in this business, like we're all like, we have such an advantage in this because we just build that emotion with the clients. We build emotion with agents, and people freaking love that. And just the fact that you're doing this is absolutely amazing. It was an honor to be on here. And honestly, anything you guys need, feel free to reach out. Like I'm always on social media. So if you guys want to message me, I'm happy to help with anything that you guys need.
Thank you. I so appreciate you. I'm looking forward to walking that stage next conference, Hall of Fame. It's in the cards. I am manifesting it. I wish I could turn my whole laptop around and show you my board, but I have like it all plastered all across because I look at it every single day. So I'm happy that you said that because it totally made me feel better, knowing that we do have doubts sometimes, right? And we do talk to ourselves, but we have to be careful how we talk to ourselves. And so I love that. I love your energy too. You have this nice peace and calm about you. I'm coming in with rah rah. And you're like, yeah, girl. So this is what I'm doing. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm feeling that.
Hey,
So,
once I got on here and it was a Drake and Nicki Minaj song, I knew I was in the right place at the right time. I'm telling you, like Hayden knows that is my vibe.
yes, I have to get that energy. We work hard, and it's, our days are long sometimes, our weeks, our months. This year's already probably felt like it's been long. And so again, my mission is for that empowerment, and for us to empower one another. And everybody has a story. Everybody has a background. I love how you started. Your stuff is still unwritten. Is still things in the cards for you, and so much more that I know we're going to see. So much more you're going to see from me, and so much more you're going to see from all these other ladies that are up here. The sky is the limit. I am a firm believer that there is no better person for anything than a woman. We know how to multitask. We know how to keep the vibe right. We are energetic. Yeah, we can be emotional, but you need that emotion, right? But we are just, I don't know. We're just total beasts and total bombs. You know, everything that we touch, I feel that it just, whew, it just becomes glorious in nature. And I don't feel that this is any different. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to talk to us for this hour. I have some major nuggets and some major notes. The biggest I just want to leave everybody with is I think everybody needs to have an accountability partner, big time. And just stay committed and be consistent. I preach this to my team. Anybody that's up here on my team, they know I'm like, look, you got to be consistent. But that accountability partner to commit to is key. A lot of times we try to go out here on our own, but we need someone to push us, right?
Yep.
And there's a saying that we used to have in corporate America, you know, praise up. I mean, complain up, praise down. And so, you know, anybody that's below you, you have to bring them up. And anybody that if you're frustrated about something, complain up, you know, talk to the person that's over you because they get it and they've been where you've been. So I know you've been where I've been, where I am, and I know I'm going to be where you are, and I'm excited about it. So thank you so much, Nina, for I'm just, I don't even know what else to say. Let's
You
give a
guys
big
are
old hand
amazing.
clap. Woo.
Thank
We're bringing it in
you.
right on time. Anything else you want to share? Parting words?
Let's freaking go. I mean, Crystal, you said that you have your vision board in front of you. You said you're going to hit Hall of Fame. You're going to do it. Find someone to hold you accountable. Honestly, you said you were going to try to turn your computer around. I need you to send me a picture of that vision
Okay.
board. Because by the end of this year, I'm going to be like, Crystal, like, let's go. Are you on track for Hall of Fame? So find that accountability partner. You guys are all queens. And it was just an honor to be on here. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies, don't forget, fix somebody else's crowns. We all have to hold one another accountable. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month for our Thrive Thursday, the first of Thursday of the month. See you all later. Thank you. Love you, Nina. Thanks.